Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. I sat at my desk, the hum of the air conditioning mingling with the clatter of keyboards, oblivious to the storm brewing just outside the glass doors of the office. The Monday morning had been uneventful, a pile of paperwork keeping me anchored to my chair, my thoughts wandering to the weekend I had spent hiking with Stacy. It was supposed to be a calm day. That was until Lily burst through the office door like a summer tempest. Her presence was startling, not just for the abrupt entrance but for the revelation that followed, loud enough for every ear in the vicinity. I almost broke my pencil when my wife's friend Lily showed up at my work and said that she had told Lily everything about us, and the fact that we were sleeping together. The room fell into a tense silence, every eye darting between me and the door. Whispers crept around the cubicles, branding me with unspoken judgments. I had never cheated on my wife, Stacy. I held on to that truth like a shield, but it seemed feeble under the weight of public scrutiny. Acknowledging the gossip would only taint me further, yet silence felt like an admission of guilt. Before I could gather my thoughts, Lily had already turned on her heel, her swift exit a sharp contrast to her dramatic entrance. Seized by a mix of anger and desperation, I followed her. The cool air of the hallway did nothing to soothe the heat of my frustration as I caught up with her, my hand gripping her arm tighter than I intended. "What the fuck was that?" Lily, my voice was a harsh whisper, a stark opposite to the loud accusation she had hurled at me just moments before. Her eyes, wide with guilt and regret, avoided mine. The office seemed miles away now, the echo of murmured gossip drowned out by the pounding of my heart. It was all Stacy and my brother Rob, she finally confessed, her voice trembling. "They've been sleeping together for a long time. They forced me into this act to ruin your reputation so Rob could take your place." The betrayal sliced through me sharper than any knife. Fury for Stacy, for Rob, and even for Lily, who had been an unwilling participant in this cruel game, surged within me. But as my grip on her arm tightened, a cold, calculated calm settled over my anger. "Now, Lily, you're going to be part of my performance for this circus you just put on," I hissed, my words laced with venom and determination. She nodded, her face pale, knowing she had little choice but to comply. "What do you want me to do?" Her voice was small, resigned. A plan unfurled in my mind, clear and precise. "You're going to help me expose them, every dirty little secret. We start by gathering evidence. Then we make them watch as their world crumbles around them, just like they tried to crush mine." Lily swallowed hard, her resolve firming as she met my gaze. "Okay, let's do it. But how? They're clever, and they've covered their tracks well. We'll need proof. Texts, emails, anything you can get your hands on. We play the game their way quietly, carefully, but with a twist. They won't see us coming until it's too late." My plan was forming, each piece falling into place with a satisfying click. As we walked back toward the office, the weight of the morning's disgrace felt lighter, overshadowed by the promise of retribution. The whispers of my coworkers still hung in the air, but they now fueled my resolve instead of breaking my spirit. Today had been a setback, but tomorrow, the real show would begin. As Lily and I walked back to the office, our steps were measured, our plan clear but our minds wary. The corridor seemed longer, each step echoing with the weight of our newfound alliance. We parted ways at the door, a silent agreement to act normal, but the air crackled with the tension of the secrets we now shared. Inside, the office was a hive of quiet activity, the earlier drama apparently forgotten, but I felt every glance that slid my way. I made a beeline for my desk, my heart pounding not just from the confrontation but from the steps I was about to take. I powered up my computer, pretending to immerse myself in work while my mind raced through the possibilities. Lunchtime brought a reprieve from the suspicious glances. As the office emptied, I slipped into the IT room where Mark, a friend and the company's go-to tech guy, was organizing cables. "Hey Mark, got a minute?" I asked, closing the door behind me. Mark looked up, his expression neutral. "Sure, what's up?" I leaned in, lowering my voice. "I need a favor. It's sensitive." Mark's eyes narrowed slightly, sensing the seriousness. "I'm listening." "I need to access some information. Emails, maybe texts. It's important." I was dancing around the truth, but Mark was sharp. He sighed. running a hand through his hair. "You know I can't just pull up personal stuff for anyone who asks, right?" "It's not just anyone," I pressed. "It's about Stacy. And Rob." Understanding flickered in Mark's eyes. "Say no more. I can't give you access, but I can guide you on how to legally obtain what you need. There are legal channels, subpoenas. But you'll need proof to get those." I nodded, frustration mounting but grateful for his indirect help. "Thanks, I might need more help later." "You know where to find me," Mark said, turning back to his cables. Back at my desk, I found a note slipped under my keyboard. "Meet me outside, 5 minutes." I stuffed the note into my pocket and walked out, finding Lily by the water fountain, her face etched with worry. "They're watching, you know. Stacy has been asking about you, about us," she whispered. "Good," I responded quietly. "Let her wonder." We spent the next few minutes hashing out a more detailed plan. Lily would try to get close to Stacy again, feign reconciliation to gain access to her devices. "I'll need to be convincing. She trusts me, but not when she thinks I might be on your side. Act like you're scared, like you're on her side. She'll eat it up," I advised, feeling a pang of disgust at the manipulation. Lily nodded, her face hardening with resolve. "What about Rob?" "I'll handle Rob. He's sloppy, leaves traces everywhere. I just need to know where to look." My mind was already turning over the possibilities. "Keep your phone on you, record everything." "Got it," Lily replied, her voice a mix of fear and determination. As we parted ways, I felt the weight of the coming storm. We were setting something in motion that would change everything, for better or for worse. I returned to my desk, my resolve hardening. Stacy and Rob wouldn't know what hit them until it was too late. The office slowly filled again, the buzz of conversation a stark contrast to the silent battle lines being drawn. I glanced at my screen, an email from Stacy popping up. "We need to talk." Yes, we certainly did. But on my terms, not hers. The game was on, and I was no longer just a pawn. As the afternoon light waned, casting long shadows across the office floor, the usual bustle seemed to slow down, as if the building itself was holding its breath. I clicked on Stacy's email with a mixture of trepidation and resolve. It read simply, "Can we talk tonight? At home." "It's important." My fingers hovered over the keyboard, drafting a reply. This could be a chance, a moment to confront her, maybe even catch her off guard. I typed a short response, "Okay, see you tonight," and hit send. The rest of the day dragged by with agonizing slowness. Each tick of the clock was a reminder of the confrontation that awaited me. Finally, the office emptied, leaving behind the echo of a day that had started with scandal and was ending with anticipation. I gathered my things and left, the weight of the upcoming evening heavy on my shoulders. At home, the house was unusually quiet. Stacy's car was in the driveway, and the lights inside were dimmed, setting a somber stage for our conversation. I found her in the kitchen, a cup of coffee in her hands, her posture rigid, as if bracing for impact. "We need to talk," she began, her voice steady but her eyes avoiding mine. "Yes, we do," I replied, taking a seat opposite her at the table. "About what happened today. About Lily, about Rob." Stacy flinched at the names, then regained her composure. "I don't know what Lily told you, but it's not what you think." "Isn't it?" I leaned forward, my gaze fixed on her. "She told me everything, Stacy, about you and Rob, about the setup to ruin me." Stacy's face paled, her fingers tightening around the coffee mug. "She's lying. She's always been jealous of us, of what we have." "What we had," Stacy, I corrected her, the bitterness creeping into my tone. "How long has it been going on with Rob?" She shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "It's not like that. It was a mistake. A terrible mistake." The confession hit me harder than I expected, even with the suspicions and the evidence mounting against her. "A mistake that you repeated, how many times, and with my brother no less." Stacy broke down, sobbing, her defenses crumbling. "I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I could end it before you found out. And involve Lily in a scheme to make me look like the cheater." I stood up, anger surging. "You dragged her into this mess, didn't you?" "It was Rob's idea," she exclaimed through tears. "He thought it would. I don't know. Shift the blame if things ever came out." I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I paced the room, each step punctuated by the thud of betrayal. And you thought ruining my reputation was the solution. No, I regret it every day. Please, you have to believe me. I want to make things right. Her plea hung in the air, desperate and raw. I stopped, facing her. Make it right? How, Stacy? The trust is broken. You broke us. She reached out, her hand trembling. Let me try. We can go to counseling, start over, please. I looked at her, the woman I had loved, now a stranger woven with lies. I need time, Stacy. Time to think about all of this. Leaving her at the table, I walked away, her sobs fading into the background. I needed to clear my head, to plan my next move. The game was far from over, and now it was my move. The next few days were a blur of tension and clandestine meetings. I avoided going home, staying instead at a small motel on the outskirts of town, where I pieced together my next steps. My phone was a constant companion, buzzing with updates from Lily, who had managed to get close to Stacy again under the guise of seeking forgiveness. One evening, as I scrolled through the latest batch of messages Lily had forwarded incriminating texts between Stacy and Rob, a plan began to crystallize in my mind. It was time to confront Rob and bring this charade to a dramatic close. I arranged to meet him at a quiet bar downtown, a place where we could talk without interruption. When I arrived, Rob was already there, nursing a drink, looking every bit the confident businessman unaware of the storm about to break. Rob, I greeted him, my voice cool. He looked up, surprise flickering across his features. Hey, I wasn't sure you'd come. We need to talk. About Stacy. About everything, I said, sliding into the seat opposite him. Rob's eyes narrowed, gauging my mood. What about Stacy? I leaned in, my voice low. I know about the affair, Rob. About the setup with Lily. I know everything. For a moment, Rob looked like he might deny it all, but then his shoulders slumped, and he sighed. Look, it got out of hand. It started as a stupid mistake, but you thought you could push me out of the picture? Make me look like the bad guy I cut in, anger hardening my words. It wasn't like that. It was supposed to be a simple thing. Rob stumbled over his words, clearly uncomfortable. A simple thing that ruined lives. I pushed back from the table, standing up. You're going to fix this, Rob. You're going to tell Stacy it's over, and you're going to clear my name. Rob looked up at me, defeat written all over his face. I'll do it. I'll end it with her. I never meant for it to go this far. I nodded, satisfaction mixing with a still simmering rage. You do that, and I want a public apology. To me, in front of everyone at the office. Rob agreed, reluctantly, and I left the bar feeling a mixture of triumph and exhaustion. The end was in sight, but the victory felt hollow. The following day, I received a call from Lily. Her tone was urgent, a stark contrast to the calm we had both fought to maintain over the past few days. You need to come to the office now. Something's happened. Panic gripped me as I raced to the office, fearing the worst. I arrived to find the office gathered, a somber mood hanging over the room like a dense fog. My heart sank as I spotted Stacy standing in the middle of the crowd, tears streaming down her face. What's going on? I demanded, pushing my way through. It's Rob, Lily said, her voice barely a whisper. He's dead. Car accident this morning. The news hit me like a physical blow, knocking the wind out of me. The room spun as I tried to process her words. Rob was gone. There would be no confession, no public apology, no vindication from him. Stacy approached me, her eyes red. I'm so sorry, she sobbed. I never wanted any of this. Please, can we just forget all this and start over? I looked at her, then at all my colleagues gathered around, their faces a mixture of concern and curiosity. Suddenly, the weight of the secrets, the lies, and the schemes felt unbearable. No, Stacy, we can't start over, I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. But we can end this properly. Let's tell everyone the truth right now, everything. And so we did. Stacy and I stood together one last time, unraveling the tangled web of deceit for everyone to hear. When it was over, there were tears, apologies, and a profound silence. As I walked out of the office that day, the burden of the past weeks lifted slightly. The truth was out, messy and painful as it was. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing for sure: I was free from the lies and ready to rebuild on my own terms.